Deposit all the shards, 16 seconds left. And we did it. 13 seconds remaining. So let's see if we can fight this final boss with really scuffed gear. Like, really scuffed gear. Like, okay. So, just to give an idea, we are now on the final boss, and I only have helmet, chest, and gloves. I'm missing legs and feet. Normally I fill both these slots, and I start upgrading a couple of them in these runs. That's how unlucky I got. I don't even have my final rune slot filled. So this is kind of my setup at the moment. Running Zero Rune and Hammer of Soul. Running Jur for projectile split chance and Shield of Vengeance with projectile amount and damage to burning. Aura of Soul with chance to burn with solar. Running the Zaladon's Ring of Rapid, Blade Dash, and Crest of the Lightbringer. And we've made it this far so far. I don't know if we will defeat this boss, but we will try. Alright, so with the final third boss coming out of this, for at least the normal 3 bosses, our build is Divine Purge with instant attack, Shield of Vengeance with the same as last time, projectile split, projectile amount, damage to burning, and Sigil of Flames this time to change it up a bit, with chance to burn, Blade Dash as usual, converting to solar damage, and then the Ring of Rapid Strikes and the Crest of the Lightbringer. That is our build setup at the moment. Over here, we prioritized attack speed and attack reach, and then on the side we took some burning, damage to burning, and chance to burn with block chance as we needed some more defensives. And now let's fight this boss and end this run. So as you can see, this build has quite a bit of damage, some okay survivability between dodge charges and block, and that is that for this character. Hey guys, I'm Orthodon, bringing you guys a kind of starter build for Oathkeeper Shield Throw. Now, this is not a completed build. I haven't fine-tuned it as min-max as I can go. I'm still working on unlocks. I've done everything so far, up until the Pale Desolation and then the super hard stuff way up here, which it even says you're not expected to beat it with the current available power in the game. Granted, it has rewards, so I want to try to beat it eventually. But for now, we're still working on upgrading, farming materials, and the likes. As you can see, I even still have a lot of materials I have yet to use. But I wanted to shoot this out there because it is a strong, very beginner-friendly setup where you don't need a lot of investment. Now, also as a disclaimer, I have yet to try it. Right now I have 4 shards in here buffing this, and 2 shards in here, which I believe is buffing this as well. 30, 150. If I remove a shard, 25, 120. Yeah, so I'm buffing this with as many shards as I have available for me right now, and I have yet to try this build specifically on this mode. But as I was going through all these other 3 boss zones and everything, this build absolutely destroyed. Okay, so right here we are going to pick Oathkeeper as our character. Now, you could reroll and try to get better stats down here. I usually don't worry about it too much. I also haven't messed with the other race too much, which I have one of them unlocked, one of the 2 other races. But for now, we will stick to human, just because that's what most people have unlocked right away, just to show that this does work fine as a human. So we pick the Oathkeeper. Now, there are several different ways that you can play this using these. I've done a Stargazer run where you have Barrier, which just adds to some of your tankiness. I've also done a Cult Initiate where you get some dodge charges, which is really interesting. Actually, we'll show this setup. So, Cult Initiate, right? We get 1 dodge charge. And then with that... Oh, we actually... No, we gotta get our weapon from the chest over here. Ah, it dropped on the other side of the rock. Scammed. Okay, so the weapon of choice for this build is right here. We get dodge charges with this weapon here, and a little bit of block chance. So we're basically going to be going block and dodge charges as a way to mitigate our damage. Now, it's a little rough early game, but once it gets set up, it usually goes pretty hard. So we'll see if we can get it set up even with this level of difficulty that we're on. Attack speed is pretty much what you want to... Attack speed and instant attack is pretty much what you want to prioritize early on. But almost everything is good that you can grab as this build, which is pretty crazy. Now, in this zone, typically you want to make your way to the edges and find the skeletons, which then gets you the currency needed to trigger the boss of these things right here. So if you haven't done this yet and you're wondering how this works, this is how this works. It's going to spawn some harder enemies when this comes up, so we actually didn't get the ability that we want here, so we have to reroll. I did pump all of my materials into Shield of Vengeance, but my friend did it without too much investment, and it was still good. But Shield of Vengeance is the power skill that we want. Now, it's nothing impressive early on, because with this skill, it only generates 2 energy per hit, but we do end up scaling pretty decently as we go. But as you can see, that single shield throw right there was pretty good already. Now you can see kind of eventually what the power of this could be if I was flinging out shields way more often, right? So just give it some time to scale up. So right there, one of our dodge charges actually saved us from that hit early on, which is really nice. So right here, if you get faced with a choice like this, I say health regen is probably a last priority. Unless you don't have the shield artifact, the block artifact yet, which I will show you when that pops up. But Radiance is usually what I go as a priority. Eventually you do want Burning, though. So once we collect 5 shards, we'll be able to fight the boss. I do want to try to get a little stronger before we fight the boss, though, because this build does need a bit of XP and stuff. So you kind of have multiple options when you're going for your passive ability. Now, Sigil of Flames isn't too bad. I don't mind it. But I think I typically prefer to go with Aura of Soul recently. I wouldn't mind trying Sigil of Flames again, though, at some point. Especially with this build gets some pretty crazy attack speed, eventually. Oh, I dodged the wrong way. I'm not the best at this game, but, you know. So what I did was I made my dodge go in the direction of where my cursor is, rather than the direction of the WASD keys that I'm pressing. And because of that, sometimes I accidentally have my cursor on the enemies, even though I have auto-aim on, just out of instinct. So once again, attack speed priority. With instant attack, that node is amazing on Oathkeeper. One of the strongest I've experienced between all the characters. But right there, you see that damage? Just 2x of his life bar is gone in like a single hit. Boom. So we now have enough shards to fight the boss. I would love to try to get some gear. There's usually some chests around here. Let's take a quick zoom around the map and see if we can find some treasure chests real quick here. Here's one, but this isn't usually... Oh, it was something. We get to put a rune in, that's good. I think we're gonna go straight for instant attack. I really like instant attack chance in your basic attack. That just gets you more energy. Helps things scale a bit more. Gets more hammers out. I feel like I usually have some armor, but now you can collect more shards. For these, you kind of learn what's good for you as you go, but typically we don't want to be losing life, so this is bad. Resistances we don't necessarily need. And then attack arc might work for this build. I haven't tested it, but I usually don't go for it. So right there I reroll. And then I guess we're all solar damage, so the solar damage is probably the best. Either that or like the rare item find might be decent too, but we might just go fight the boss because I'm not getting too lucky on chests here, and just see what happens because we're kind of timed. So if you haven't done this yet, I actually left a soul back there. You come over here and you stand in the middle, and it will spawn the boss. We'll see how this goes. And I think it's a random boss every time in this zone. So you, obviously, when you're fighting bosses, just avoid whatever attacks they do the best you can. You have dodge charges and emergencies. And then we get some gear. Gear is very conditional based on what options you get, whether you want to reroll, whether you want to rarity up. You get a lot of different options as you progress in the game. But instant attack, damage, crit chance, all of these are good things. I don't really care for damage to healthy as much. It's not bad. But, yeah. So mainly, like, this one just seems like the best to me, at least with my knowledge of the game so far. So Shield of Vengeance, we're gonna slap our first rune in here. I usually go right away for projectile split chance. It just helps our shield throw split even more, which I haven't double checked to make sure that fully works. So these are actually the two artifacts we want. These are the two artifacts that are gonna make this build, right? The third one probably being Edge of Darkness if you have it unlocked, but this ring is going to give you insane attack speed, and then the shield is going to give you insane sustain once we start building more block. So first off, I'm going to take the ring early game. In this situation, we're still focusing attack speed, and then just level up whatever runes you want. We'll go for, I like attack reach. We'll go for that. More solar damage, yes. That proc chance might have been good. I need to research what the proc chance is. Like I said, this isn't a full, complete build guide. This is just kind of a little beginner sort of thing that you can start getting into the early to late game with. As you can see, I don't even have all my skills leveled up to have all the runes yet. I don't have all the runes leveled up very much, so this is definitely not like a full-on like end game build. As you can see, this ring gives you 10% attack speed for every attack as long as you keep attacking, and you can see it kind of really pop off here. And then the instant attacks going off every now and then. It just really, we just hit a point where we really start scaling a lot. We have a caravan we can try to get. Blade Dash is the movement skill we want. That makes dashing give us 2 dodge charges back, so if our dodge charges fade, we can get them back. Like how I'm missing 1 right now, I can dodge and just get it back instantly. This is how I like playing the game anyway. Both dodge charges gone, we can dodge and get them back. I want to try to kill this mage first, and then we'll pick up those items after. Let's see if we can take out some of these before they get to the edge of the map. Which they're already kind of here, which is unfortunate. Yeah, this build so far isn't as good. I think there's another ability that isn't as tanky to start with as your instead of Hammer of Soul that I think is actually a little bit better. I may even just redo this video. So I think I'm gonna try Pierce. Oh, I lost a health bar. That was not good. Okay, well, I've never tried this build on this level of difficulty before, so it's actually interesting seeing... but this was, like, the weaker version until way late game as well. Once we really start cooking, it really starts cooking. I'm gonna re-roll those. Damn, I am getting unlucky with these. I mean, power ability damage is good. We can level up again, max out our attack speed now. A lot of the times we are like, see, like the damage is real good sometimes, and other times not so much. I also need to go focus the the skeletons too. Normally there's like gold chests around that will get you gear, unlike those that just give you currency. I feel like I've had really bad luck with gear this run through. I'm not sure why. There's another spirit caravan. Well, if I can find that early enough, I could probably kill them. See if we can get this build to scale a bit more. We're gonna go for attack speed, always good. Oh, here they are. We caught them pretty early. We might be able to kill them, hopefully get some equipment from it. These guys are always tanky. I did another run like this where they were very hard to kill. I haven't had a build on this level of difficulty with all of these shards in my obelisks that I was able to really take down every single one of these guys. But I'm still working on improving my power and trying to figure out solid ways to build these characters. Looks like we'll at least get one guy down, though. This is actually a really bad example, I think, for a early game build. So next rune we're gonna want is projectile amount, is what I normally do. Just gets us extra AoE on our shields when they go out. And then right here, we're going to want to go for attack reach, more projectile amount. As you can see, we're really getting some big chains going now that we're getting some of that on. Unfortunately, we missed out on that one, so we'll get this here, upgrade one of our runes. Oh, we got a new rune. Damage is converted to solar. That's cool. I like those runes. There's so many builds I want to mess around with, for sure. Now, I'd really love to find... So, I'm literally wearing, like, one piece of gear right now. Like, this is insane. I usually have, like, a full kit of gear by now, to give context. That was one of those times where I didn't really mean to dodge into the mobs like that, but I guess because of dodge charges, I didn't really take any damage. I haven't really started scaling my block chance yet. Probably once I get the next artifact, I'll start scaling that a bit more. One more shard and we can spawn the boss, but that's just gonna make things even harder. I'm not really happy with our gear situation, but maybe we'll just try it. Do we want to start getting more of our block chance now? We're gonna start taking more damage soon. Let's try to get some of it, because we're definitely gonna want a decent amount of block by the time we get the relic. I don't know when... Relics are kinda even more random than gear, so who knows when I'll get that, but... Alright, well, let's just spawn the boss and see what happens. We only have a minute left, so... we don't have much other choice. Ooh, Broodmother, I've heard, is rough in here. She has a lot of little enemies coming out. Look at all these enemies coming out. That's pretty rough. But as you can see, without even investing in tankiness yet, we're doing pretty good with just our dodge charges. And the damage isn't terrible for the lack of gear we have. Straight up, we have a helmet and that's it. So, like, it's pretty crazy. But you can kind of do circles around the bosses like this. The guys that are leaping can't necessarily hit you. And then just fire off that damage. So this is for a Broodmother. This has actually gone pretty decent in my opinion, anyway. Maybe we'll actually get some gear before the next boss. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna get the shield now. So when you block an attack, you have 50% chance of causing a surge of light around you. But the main thing is the healing, 10% of your max life when you block. So that's where this shield, plus going the other hammer, not the hammer throw, but the melee one, you get 35% block as a base, and then you stack some block and you do really good with that one. But right here, we'll go for some... I'd really like the block chance set, and since we're having such a hard time with gear, I think we're gonna go for this. It's not the ideal stats. Attack reach I don't necessarily go for with this version of the build, because we're hammer throwing. If it was the melee build, attack reach is pretty good, but either way. So a lot of the times the final rune I will go in this is damage to burning, and then I usually get the passive towards the later game that gives me a chance to burn. And then I also put the rune for burning in my Aura of Soul to give this one right here, chance to burn with solar damage. I put that in the Aura of Soul to help burn the enemies, and then this just does more damage to them. So that's what I do for now. I wouldn't be surprised if later on I end up doing something different. Right there I just picked the new rune that I unlocked because I want at least every rune unlocked before I do anything else. That was just currencies down there, right? Looks like it. So now we go venturing off again. We only have 2 minutes. Oh, here's one of the gold chests that I was talking about, or bronze kind of looking. Usually it drops a lot of gear like that. Let's put our Auth rune into our Aura Soul. We got another piece of equipment, which is good. The block chance one with block chance on it. That's nice. I didn't realize block chance could be a stat that could roll on gear. All damage and damage to burning seems nice. Attack speed and health regen isn't terrible. That's 10% damage and then 15 to burning. I think that seems better, in my opinion. So we can come over here and grab that one just cause we have another chest up here. But we do really need to zoom here. We have 7 shards, we need to hit 15, so let's try to move a little quicker to unlock chests. So this has been kind of an unlucky run, but we're definitely, like... I mean, we finished 2 bosses, right? That's not too bad, I don't think. This guy's fast. That hurt a bit. Dodge charges coming in clutch there, as you can see. So this is the one we're gonna start taking... Actually... Let's start taking this now, I think. Give us a little bit extra chance just to burn with anything that we do. Any solar damage we're doing, we'll have a chance to burn now. So we left one of these shards, a couple of these shards up here. Damn, we have less than a minute though. We need to, I think we're done. I think we're gonna run out of time. That was just because I was too busy looking for gear half the time. I don't think I accidentally deposited any in the center, right? Let's see if we can grab 2 more shards. Oh, here's a couple shards. Well, let's grab it and dash out. Hopefully we didn't take too much damage. And now, unfortunately, we gotta find the center again. Here it is. Deposit all the shards. 16 seconds left. And we did it. 13 seconds remaining. So let's see if we can fight this final boss with really scuffed gear. Like, really scuffed gear. Like, okay, so just to give an idea, we are now on the final boss, and I only have helmet, chest, and gloves. I'm missing legs and feet. Normally I fill both these slots, and I start upgrading a couple of them in these runs. That's how unlucky I got. I don't even have my final rune slot filled. So this is kind of my setup at the moment. Running Zero Rune and Hammer of Soul, running Jur for projectile split chance and Shield of Vengeance with projectile amount and damage to burning, Aura of Soul with chance to burn with solar, running the Zaladon's Ring of Rapid, Blade Dash, and Crest of the Lightbringer. And we've made it this far so far. I don't know if we will defeat this boss, but we will try. I grabbed block chance there because the hammer, or the crest will heal us every time we block, so if we can get more block chance now, it might save us for this run here. I'd really like to get this upgrade without dying. Power ability, I think, is going to be the best at the moment. Let's dash out of there just in case. We have these magic balls closing in on us, so we have to try and take a sharper turn here. We got hit a couple times, but our dodge charges helped avoid it. Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure you don't have to stay in this circle. So you can just kite the boss wherever you want. I may if you guys have seen this cut down a bit, this was kind of a bad run, so I don't want to show the full thing because of how long it is. So I may just cut this up to some of the key moments and then leave it at that. And show you, like, all 3 of the boss fights, of course. I would like to do one more, like, normal run. Just to show off, because this build is very powerful. And I'll probably show the other variant of it. Alright, so we aren't doing too bad though. This boss is pretty easy to avoid. The only scary thing is those magic balls that are coming at me, and then kind of getting bonked by the trash mobs is a little worrisome, but typically you can just run narrow circles to make the balls kind of drift off a bit, and they're not too bad. We leveled up again. Let's take damage to burning enemies, get a little bit more damage here since our tankiness is feeling pretty good right now. You could maybe speed up this fight by turning auto-aim off if you wanted to. By the way, the keybind for that is R if you're unaware. You can turn it on and off at will. So if you wanted to like really focus the boss and not worry about the trash mobs as much, you could do that. By the way, this zone might go on longer after this boss fight. I'm not sure. I've never made it far enough to actually do this, so this is where I kind of... I'm not really sure what I like to put in here. One of the main things that I do for my Blade Rush is... so what you could do is you could convert it to solar, now that I have that. Actually, let's try that. Normally, I put chance to stun on it with primal skills, but let's actually solar damage and type converted to solar. So now it does solar. All of our solar bonuses will work, and it will burn too, which will amplify our other skills damage and everything. Once again, chance to burn. That's pretty nice. Reduced bleed rate, I guess, could be okay for now. Some move speed wouldn't be too bad. And it'll finish off our set, so we'll get some more resistances. The other options aren't too bad, but not great, so I think we'll go with those. We could have rerolled. I don't reroll gear too often. A lot of times I just take what it gives me. But I guess we could try to do... Oh, we might get more gear here. Oh look, 2 of these chests. Are we finally getting gear now that the run is basically over? We're gonna finally finish off our pieces. So all damage, passive ability damage. This is probably the best one, but we already have the set bonus. I think this is one of those rare occasions that I'm gonna reroll. The crit set is pretty nice. Resistance, piercing, and attack speed. Yes, we will take that. Grab some of those currencies because they can be useful. We're probably not going to get another boss kill in, but we will just keep going for the hell of it. We will take block chance off that. We can now start boosting some of our gear, so it's either all damage or passive damage, so we're just going to go all damage, because that also boosts passive damage. So as you can see, once you get to this point in the run after tier 4, it really starts to... the damage really starts to slow down a bit. We'll go for attack reach and projectile amount, see if we can get some more damage in here in the end. This is where I think I need to scale my account, all my out-of-game bonuses and stuff just a bit more. And things will start looking a lot crazier in here, most likely. And just better luck on gear and things like that will go a long way. I still don't have the, if I could have got a 3rd relic too, that would be massive for this build. But yeah, there's no way we're getting enough shards to finish, so that's the end of the run, guys, in 20 seconds. But as you can see, we survived on Corruption 6, as hard as I can make it at the moment, and we survived at tier 4. Now, if I got enough shards, could I get to tier 5 and fight another boss? Maybe. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've yet to get that far yet, but now we hit the death tier. Let's see how long we can last at the death tier with block. Our block isn't super crazy though, so but this is our dodge charges, like actually it's kind of a good showcase a bit of like what a bit of the tankiness could do. Now if we had the other relic, we probably would have lived a lot longer there too. But as you can see, I'm still unlocking rewards in this tier, so Moon Touch rituals. Ah. That's what this blue modifier is. Okay, so that was the Pale Desolation at Corruption 6. Now, I want to show you guys just like an early game, like an even earlier game, right? Like, let's say you're only on like, let's say this stage here. Now that I beat the game, it's extended to tier 5, but you guys can see the first 3 bosses at the very least. It should be relatively similar. Actually, let's do one that we're not boosting with obelisks, right? Because that's going to be Corruption 6 as well, I think. So let's go over here. That one is still a Dark Ritual. All of these are Dark Rituals. Are there any 3 bosses that aren't Dark Rituals? I guess I could just take out my shards. Oh, maybe just everything is a Dark Ritual. I didn't realize that. Let's just remove the shards real fast. So this is just a little base run. We'll do it on Moonfall Cliffs. This will be, hopefully, a relatively quicker one. We'll just take whichever... Sure, crit damage. Human Oathkeeper. Once again, we'll do the same thing as we did last time for those dodge charges with Cult Initiate. We'll go up, we'll punch this mob, just to show the power, but in a different way. I want to go for Divine Purge this time. I want to show you guys the ranged book skill. Now, we're not really going to be blocking as much, so we're not going to be as tanky, but the damage on this one is actually insane. So obviously give me a little bit of time to ramp here. But I absolutely love this setup. If I can find a way to make it tankier, I'd love to. So as usual, we go for attack speed. The typical choice for most builds, actually. At least most builds that I play, because attack speed just feels so nice on everything. So the cool thing about Divine Purge is it hits 3 targets in front of you and generates 10 energy per hit. So that's 30 energy. Shield charge is 20 energy. So when you're hitting your max amount of enemies, you're throwing a shield charge almost every nuke. So you'll see, you saw how many shields were going out last time. Not too many. This time, you will see shields going out like crazy. So attack reach and amount, that's what we go for each time, if it's not attack speed. Now, obviously, you might not have your Shield of Vengeance maxed out, but also, and you might not have as many passives outside of the game, but I believe this would be extremely powerful, even if you just unlock these few abilities and start using them. As soon as you unlock them, I think it would be very strong. So we're going to put instant attack chance in our Divine Purge. I love instant attack chance. And then attack speed and piercing is probably going to be the way we go. Once again, attack speed and instant attack. Gonna try to... I mean, you can only speed run these so much, right? I think I'm just gonna go to the third boss for you guys, and not past it, because that's kind of like what this build is built for. This time I'll show off Sigil of Flames, too. Once again, this build can work with either Aura of Soul or Sigil of Flames, whichever one you want to do. But I just kind of want to mess around with Sigil of Flames one more time before I move on to other characters, other classes, and builds and stuff. So as you can see, the early game, pretty much a piece of cake with this setup. And you can see why I thought this build was much more powerful than when I did Corruption 6 in the other zone. That Corruption 6 was pretty crazy. But in this situation, damage to burning, we're going to want that eventually anyway. So we want to take that. We have one of our first elite enemies. He just got one shot, I think. Goodbye. Shield of Vengeance, same thing as I did in the other run. I go with projectile split chance. All the same ones that I did before. Crit chance and attack speed, we're probably gonna go for that, yes. Over the other ones. I forgot how crazy this build was. I've been playing some other builds that aren't quite as strong, I feel like. It's funny because even though I got really unlucky in that previous run, I still felt like it was faster than... Or I made it farther than my other builds have with that level of difficulty. Once again, attack speed, instant attack. Man, I want more enemies to show up. It's actually kind of crazy that I forgot how long it takes for like the first boss to spawn when you're just ripping through everything. Like, do I even really have to move? I guess I probably should, huh? Some of those guys get pretty close. And some of them are ranged, but... I'm still trying to figure out how I want to format these videos, so apologies if this one is a little rough with the formatting. Blade Dash is what we want for our getting some dodge charges back if we need to. And it's just a nice travel skill. Damn, did you guys see that bounce? That was a good one. Just rips through all the whole pack of enemies. Let's go. It's such a satisfying... I love shield throw. It's such a satisfying build to play. Just tearing through guys. Alright, first boss is here. And keep in mind, I'm a little stronger than you normally would be going through these zones, but not by a ton. I only just finished farming through these 3 boss zones. I haven't gotten a ton of upgrades since then, so... Like, this is roughly how fast I killed it my first time, too. And that's first boss dead. Like, pretty wild. So. Yeah, ideally, if we can try to get the block chance set, I'd like that, because we do want to try to get some block eventually, if we can. None of these are ones that we really want, so we want to re-roll this, and the ring is going to be the first one we pick up, just like before. That attack speed just can't be beat, in my opinion. Once again, projectile mount into the shield throw. We took a little bit of damage there from something, I'm not even sure what. I was too busy looting. But now we have the crazy, if anything lives long enough for us to build up our attack speed, we really rip out everything now, just cranking. I'll probably, once I finish maxing out all the other classes to their banner to 20, I will probably start trying to work on making this build as like a final, I'll probably release a final version at some point of what I think is, like, with the knowledge I have anyway, the best stuff for it. So I'm still unlocking runes and stuff like that too. And I still need to level up all the skills that I use, so that way I can put 3 runes in all of them, but... Well, there's an elite enemy down, no problem. It's like he was just a normal boy. Right here we're gonna get some block chance, it looks like. With some bonus health. This is a pretty nice tanky piece. I would recommend in the early game for people to take a piece like this. Especially because it's finishing up your set bonus too. I probably don't necessarily need it right now. Wait, what skill did I pick? Oh, crap. I think I picked Shield of Vengeance, right? So usually I put damage to burning in, that's what I did last time. There are other options you can go with, but that's just what I run for now. And then, yeah, attack reach and projectile amount is good. Take out some of these mages. Things are actually starting to live a little longer. That makes it fun. We're gonna put chance to burn on our sigil flames. And then we could take, so yeah, I mean in the long run you do want to grab some block. So we can grab some block and bonus health. That's probably, like, when your damage is really ramping, that's probably when you can be like, okay, I don't need to take too much more damage for right now. And you can start taking the block nodes. And we just continue to rip through the enemies. Attack speed, projectile amount, yes, yes. We can just get some insane bounces and flipping and twirling and... I think we should be getting the second boss fairly soon, I think, right? So we will just go with... Actually, let's reroll this. Hey, attack speed. Or block chance and damage. Actually, block chance and damage to elites. That's a greater fragment, and that's really nice. Movement charges is actually really good. If you feel yourself not being very tanky, you may want to take the movement charges, because movement charges, every time you dash, you refund, or you get a dodge charge back. So that's a big defensive right there, if you were to take that. All damage and move speed per life lost. Yeah, sure, we'll take some all damage. I mean, if we happen to get low life, that'll be nice, but Alright, here we go. We got second boss here. He has all of his little minions out. 2 of them are already dead. Power ability damage. That's good too. Attack speed is always good. And then we just melt the boss right on down. Blade Dash, we are gonna put the Eldritch Rune in. Once you have it, so for a while I was running Chance to Stun with Primal. You can do that if you want, just to get a stun out of your movement ability. But once you have it, you can convert it to solar damage, so it's doing the same as all your other abilities. Kinda helps you scale everything properly. Resistance Piercing isn't terrible. I mean, healing isn't bad to have, and we're gonna finish our set off this. I guess both these pieces would finish our set. Actually, we're gonna get more block chance with this, and we're gonna finish our set off. So we're gonna go for this. So right here, the 2 options you can go with, if you feel like you have a good amount of block chance, you can go for the shield one. Or, if you don't feel like you have a lot of block, you can go for Edge of Darkness, which is insane if you have it unlocked. Your primary attacks have a 10% chance to give you dodge charges back. That's just huge. That's just amazing. Especially if you're the other version of the build where you have 2 dodge charges. It's really good. But I have a good amount of block, so I'm going to take Crest of the Lightbringer. So this was where I struggled on one of my early builds. I actually had to do this zone like 3 or 4 times in order to be... Actually, my first Oathkeeper video might have been here. We're actually going to take more block chance. More block chance is more better. Actually, we're even still, like, these guys are pretty tanky. It's actually impressive how tanky the mobs are in this level. Or at least the shield guys. We have a spirit caravan. Let's see if we can deal with that. Where's it coming in at? Right over here. So I guess, I mean, our damage is kind of lacking a little bit, so let's stop going for block for a few and get more chance to burn. Although our damage is still pretty good, like, we're tearing this caravan apart. Now, you're not always going to get these options. You have to unlock these options later on, but once you have your full set of gear, you start to be able to upgrade some of the pieces. So we will go for some more block chance off of that. We will go for some more... We'll go for solar damage. I feel like our attack speed is pretty good. Let's just get some raw damage out there. Ability damage... Which I think that's just all your skills, right? If I'm not mistaken, or I've been taking that wrong this whole time. Okay, I wasn't paying attention, and I accidentally took damage and lost a life bar, so don't be like me, pay attention to what's going on. We will take even more. We're getting pretty lucky with the block chance, I will say. Normally this build doesn't get that much. Oh, I unlocked a new rune. Interesting. 50% effectiveness of moon runes. Nice. I didn't even know that was something I could unlock here, so I guess I'm still unlocking new things even in here. That's awesome. So, with that, we are going to take Attack Reach. Continue maxing that out. And we have one more boss to kill, and then I think I will just end this video at that. Well, the tanky mobs stopped coming out, and now we are ripping through everything again. So, I think those mobs are just extreme tanky. So, block chance, we could have re-rolled that if we wanted to go for more damage, but more block chance isn't bad, especially since we lost a health bar. We should probably... and we're slaughtering everything on the screen right now. We should probably try to be a little bit more safe. I guess we'll come up here and grab some of the experience. Alright, so with the final third boss coming out of this, for at least the normal 3 bosses, our build is Divine Purge with instant attack, Shield of Vengeance with the same as last time, projectile split, projectile amount, damage to burning, and Sigil of Flames this time to change it up a bit, with chance to burn, Blade Dash as usual, converting to solar damage, and then the Ring of Rapid Strikes and the Crest of the Lightbringer. That is our build setup at the moment. Over here, we prioritized attack speed and attack reach, and then on the side, we took some burning, damage to burning, and chance to burn with block chance as we needed some more defensives. And with soul fragments, we took a lot of block chance, whatever gave us damage, essentially, for the most part. Just those 2 things. As you can see, we hit, even without block chance on our base weapon, we still hit 37.5% block chance, which isn't too bad. And now, let's fight this boss and end this run. So as you can see, this build has quite a bit of damage, some okay survivability between dodge charges and block, and that is that for this character. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. There were 2 variants in this video. Let me know what you think of the editing, what I should do different, if there are things that you think I should do different, and we can progress from there, and I can try to make these builds more efficient. I will be doing a more final build version in the future once I have everything unlocked and I figure things out a little more about the game. I still have a lot of learning to do. This is only my 2nd day playing, so this was more targeted to be early game builds rather than anything to take on the final sectors of the game. So thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Hit that like button as well. It all helps me and the channel grow and all that. And we will be back for more videos in coming days. Thank you guys, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.